Hello everyone and welcome back to Local Liberty. This is Brian and Shane. We got a relatively current event to discuss. We're trying our best to keep up with the times. First I want to link below to our one of our very early episodes, which Shane will cringe that it's in SD, but
it's so horrible.
I think the message still comes across, and you'll see that link below. That's for our discussion on this handy dandy victimless crime chart. And my question for you, Shane, on that handy dandy chart around victimless crimes, I don't recall seeing a branch on the chart that said deploy the MRAP. Do you?
I can't recall that, Brian, now that I'm thinking about it.
We'll rewatch the episode, but
right.
Viewers as well, please have a look at that episode and let us know if you see anything on there about MRAPs. We are, of course, referring to Operation Dirty Pearl.
Ooh.
Where three drug dealers.
Three people selling drugs.
Three alleged drug dealers were apprehended through the use of our wonderful town MRAP. And on the other page, looks like about a dozen or so police, probably more than that, but that's what we can see in that one picture.
It's got to be in a light.
It's worth noting that
I can zoom in.
there was no mention whatsoever of any violent history for these three individuals. I assume if there was, it would have been broadcast very loudly. There was also no mention of any weapons found. Yet we have our armored vehicle from straight out of Iraq or Afghanistan, deployed on beautiful Pearl Street in Willimantic.
We got dogs,
and a dog
dozen guys,
and cops.
body armor,
Helmets, machine guns, the whole kit and caboodle. So, why? How much money did that cost? How much benefit did we deliver to the community?
Well, but Brian, you have to remember the drug dealers have bazookas, grenade launchers, assault weapons. So of course they need to go in like the military would roll into Iraq to protect themselves, to keep themselves safe from these deadly terrorists, these local homegrown terrorists.
They forgot to stress that angle, unfortunately, in the newspaper article, though. But the bazookas probably were there, otherwise they wouldn't have showed up.
Otherwise they wouldn't have showed up. I mean, now, if I go to Pearl Street right now, I know for a fact that I can't get drugs anymore. I know for a fact that I'll feel much safer because the MRAP is not too far from Pearl Street. The police station in Willimantic is pretty close to Pearl Street. So with that MRAP there, I'm now confident about walking on Pearl Street at night. The citizens there are now safer. Everyone's happier and better off.
At least they only burned a couple gallons of gas getting that thing over to Pearl Street.
Brian, this is just astonishing. Even if you are for the drug war, what is the purpose of this giant, literally, military vehicle? I would like someone comment on this and tell me, what purpose does this serve? There is a reason why the local population, people that live in these communities, these poorer communities, are afraid of the police. There is a reason. Imagine if you're in Iraq and the U.S. Army rolls in. Now you can get a sense, of what that feels like with the MRAP. Literally, this is what it feels like to have an occupied force. If you're in that community and you see this vehicle, if you see the police with their assault weapons, if you see this, what do you think to yourself about these people? A lot of these people on the street, they probably knew the drug dealers. These drug dealers, again, you might not like drug dealers. You might think they're do something bad. Is this the appropriate response? Is this a proportional response to the danger at hand? I just don't see how you can possibly rationalize this response to those people. And this is going with the assumption that you agree with the drug war.
Right.
The drug war is complete bullshit.
Right. Never mind the fact that these guys were engaging in voluntary transactions with their customers.
Exactly.
Basically.
No one was being forced to buy whatever they're selling, the heroin, whatever happened to be the drug. That was not occurring. Right? So these people came in, the police came in and got involved in transactions that there was no victim. No one was complaining. No one was saying, "Oh, I didn't want to buy the drugs," and he held the gun to me. He held me at gunpoint, forced me to buy the drugs. That's not what happened. And if you don't like drugs, if you don't like it being in your community, well, this is not helping things. If you had the drugs regulated, like say alcohol, you could have a nice, decent, clean place, not a bunch of random people hanging around because you'd have a business owner that actually cares. But once you throw things in the black market, it just makes things worse for everybody. And then once you add this the military aspect of the police in there, and then just makes a bad situation worse. I mean, what positive? What was gained after this? How is the community benefited by this action? What positive change occurred?
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about the MRAP. I think it's this is one of the things that's important to discuss. What does a vehicle like this mean in our town? I know this has been discussed before, and lots of folks they're proud of it. They think it's they cheer when it drives down the street for the parade, and
look at it from
we've
other
had-
people's point of view. Don't if you're a middle class person, if you're living in the country and you never have to see the police like this, then you never have to see the police knocking on the door next to you, breaking doors down, acting like armed thugs. Right? Imagine it from the perspective of the people that live in that community, how they see this. Just like the people in Iraq when we came in. Think about it from their perspective, not from your perspective. Because depending on where you live in town, depending on who you are, your interactions with the police might be more or less positive for no other reason than based on your socioeconomic background or race. For no other reason than that. Right? So think about the other person's perspective.
All right. Anything else from you? That's all I got to say on the old MRAP.
Nothing else for me.
We've talked about it several episodes before. You can actually look at some old.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, folks.
And I'm sure we'll continue to discuss police activity in our community. It's an extremely important subject that we want to make sure people are discussing. Thanks for listening. Check us out on Local Liberty at Facebook and YouTube and localliberty.org.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thank you, Shane. Have a good night, guys.